Hi, everybody. My name is Angeline Gavino, and I'm the Vice President of Customer Success at Katalon.
Hello, everyone. I'm Florence, Director of Marketing at Katalon. Welcome to the Women in Tech podcast, your go-to space for celebrating the remarkable achievements, stories, and insights of extraordinary women in the ever-evolving world of technology.
Each episode is a journey into the lives of these amazing women, where we uncover the stories, triumphs, and wisdom they've gained along their unique paths.
So, buckle up for the intimate conversation as we delve into the incredible stories of our outstanding guests.
Hi, everybody. My name is Angeline. Welcome to another empowering episode of Women in Tech by Katalon. Today, I'm joined by Anjali Chhabra, and we're going to be talking about how to navigate career challenges and celebrate triumphs. Welcome to the podcast, Anjali.
Thank you. Thanks, Angeline. Happy to be here.
We're so excited to have you here. But before we dive into your remarkable journey, let's start with you sharing a little bit about yourself, your background, and what initially drew you to the field of technology in your current role.
Okay. So, my name is Anjali Chhabra. I'm a IT professional for last 25 years. I started my career back in 1999 with the campus placement. I'm a electrical engineering student. I was an electrical engineering student. I completed my electrical engineering from NIT, which is the National Institute of Technology from India. And I was actually picked up in campus by one of the leading technology organization at that time, Satyam Computers. And that started my journey in IT. I went through like 3 months of rigorous training as a trainee, as an intern. In Satyam Computers, I started my journey as a developer. I have been like for first 12 years of my career, I have done a lot of development testing work. I was all into technology, enterprise architecture, did a lot of work on the SOA architecture, the service-oriented architecture at that time. Did a lot of testing related projects as well. And in fact, in the year 2002, I was in UK managing the user acceptance testing phase for a very large program for one of our banking and financial services customers. Then in 2002, I was in US, Atlanta, and managing again a large testing program for Equifax, which was another customer of ours. So yeah, so that's where some of my testing journey also started. I was doing a lot of these projects. By the end of 2012, I was working on one large program. I was managing that large program for almost 400 associated members, the delivery team, and out of which close to 130 people were associated in testing. And I was managing 4 or 5 testing projects under that program. So kind of that kind of started my journey with the testing and quality engineering space. Then 2012 was the kind of a paradigm shift in my career journey. That's when I was asked to take up the role of setting up the quality engineering practice in the US. And until that time, I was based out of India. And that was kind of I would say, a very life-changing decision as well, because I had to move to US and my husband was working in India and my son was studying in India. He was 7 years old when this whole thing came up. And I just took it as a challenge, discussed with my husband, and he was like, yeah, go ahead. And that's where my the whole true quality engineering journey started, where I came to US, set up the entire practice. Rest, they say, is history. It's been 12 years now, running the global quality engineering and testing practice for Tech Mahindra. In my current role, though, just to share with you all and Angeline, that I manage two practices. One is quality engineering, and another one is our integrated DevOps practice. So in the last 3 years, I have kind of taken additional responsibility of managing the end-to-end integrated DevOps and value stream management related solutions and accelerators as well. But quality engineering is the first love, as they say. So
it's interesting to hear your journey on you taking us back to like 25 years ago, which really spans, your career up until now. But I want to look way back when you said you took up electrical engineering as a student in IT. Have you always wanted to go into this field? Were you a kid wanting to someday I want to go into electrical engineering? How did you even got into the space to begin with?
So that is a very interesting story, actually. As a kid, 6-7 years of age, I started hearing stories that how my dad, like my father, went to become an electrical engineer, but had to leave it midway. In 1.5 year, he had to leave the studies, and in fact come back and get into an organization that was giving him an opportunity to become an intern while he gets paid. And on the side, he was being trained similar to electrical engineer, but he won't get a electrical engineering degree, but he will get a certification from that institute, which will give him a confirmed job. And he'll be paid for the period he'll be studying, because he'll also be working. And due to all the family circumstances, all the dynamics that was happening, he decided to take that decision and came back, leaving his electrical engineering degree halfway through, and moved back to take up a job which was paying and also making him study some of the electrical engineering aspects. So somewhere that story, I think and then my dad was like it was kind of his unfulfilled dream. And very interestingly, he had gone to the National Institute of Technology in another city, from where he returned 1.5 year later and joined this job. So I always had that it was kind of fulfilling some unfulfilled dream of your parents. But I was very passionate about it, that I have to become an engineer. And and then I ended up selecting electrical engineering. It was called instrumentation and control, but it is actually electrical engineering. And that's the journey or the background of why I picked that up.
Definitely very interesting. And you were just talking about your son, and what will be so much more interesting is if your son is in the same trajectory as you are. Because I remember you said 12 years ago was when you moved. He was 7. Is he in the same field as you? Trying to go into the same field?
And yes, that is exactly what he's doing. He is electrical engineer in 3rd year. He's doing his engineering from Texas A&M, which is one of the top 10 engineering institutes in United States. And but his trajectory is very different. He's like I became an electrical engineer just to kind of move into computer science area, and then took up a job in software engineering and things like that. he's a very passionate electrical engineer. So he's pursuing everything to do with chip design, chip verification, chip validation. In fact, last year he did his internship with Micron Technology, which is one of the leading chip manufacturers. And he did verification and validation, which is testing, but of the chip designs. And this year, he's already started his internship with Intel, again in the chip design and chip verification field. And he'll be doing his 3 months internship. And next year, he'll be graduating as an electrical engineer. So yeah, the legacy carries, but with different flavors, right? My father started, couldn't complete, did something else. I came in, became an electrical engineer, moved into software engineering. My son is doing electrical engineering, but getting deeper into the chip design, chip verification area.
Oh, wait, the three generations of people passionate about the same industry. It's very nice to hear the story. Now, I could go down this rabbit hole and talk a little bit more, about how you've influenced your son and all of that. But I feel like I'm digressing from the topic. But I do want to bring it back, right? I think to that pivotal moment for you, like you said, the paradigm shift, the decision to move to the US. That must have been tough. Did you have to move first and leave your family behind for them to follow? Or how was the decision-making process for you back then?
Yes, I actually moved to US alone, leaving my husband and my son behind in my husband's care. And thankfully, my parents were there in the same city in India. So that helped a little bit because I had that comfort of my mom being there for my son. But it was a very difficult decision, to tell you, Angeline, because my husband was working for IBM, and he was in the IBM sales team. And it is not as easy for the sales professionals to get relocated, at least with the same organization from India to US. It is much easier for a technical IT professional to get that kind of transition, but it is much more difficult for a sales professional to just transition from one geography to another geography, because there are a lot of considerations when it comes to sales. They expect some sort of market understanding and your relationships in the market and those type of things. But having said that, yes, so we had some intense discussions. I was feeling that in India, my career was kind of at a, again, I had been there, done that, lot of delivery roles. I had done large scale teams, projects, programs that I had managed, and I was craving to do something different. This was an opportunity to do something very different, setting up a practice from scratch, doing new business development for quality engineering services, working with the sales teams, helping them crack deals, and everything. That was something that I really was looking forward to, and had a very candid conversation with my husband, and he was very supportive. He said that, see, the thing is, if you let this opportunity go, you'll keep sulking and you'll not be happy, and you'll be here, but you'll not be very happy, and you'll keep thinking or keep regretting that, oh, I missed a great opportunity. So it is better that you go and figure out. And by that time, I will try. He had a very good credibility in IBM system, thankfully. There were a lot of leaders in North America who knew him for the work that he was doing back in India. And he said that I'll figure it out. Don't worry. You just go ahead. I'll figure it out. And and I think I landed in May of 2012, and my husband and son joined me in January 2013. So it was 6-7 months, which were slightly difficult for us as a family. But yes, my husband was able to get a transfer with IBM, and then he continued here in IBM US for very, very long. I think he only changed in like just a couple of years back. But yeah, so it is. It all worked out eventually. Like where there is a will, there is a way type of thing. But yeah, it was very difficult decision. In fact, it was first time in my life when my mom told me that, are you making the right decision? Like what is this? Because she has been a working person all her life as well, and very passionate about her career. She is in education field, and she worked until she was 67. She actually retired at 67. So she's very passionate career woman. But she was like that. This is a bigger decision. Like, you are leaving them. You don't know whether when they'll be able to come and all that. But yeah, everything worked out eventually, and it was just 6-7 months which were slightly difficult.
Right. I love hearing that story because, you've always heard about this phrase, behind every successful man is a woman. But I think it also goes both the other way around, right? Behind a successful woman is a man who was willing to support their choices. And it's so nice to hear, right? About your spouse, your husband, your partner that's really supporting you and enabling you to really follow what your heart says. I'm sure, I'm a mom myself. It would have been a very difficult decision for me too. I kind of went into the same trajectory. I moved from my mother country as well, so I can totally relate to what you're saying. But like you said, eventually, I think I would assume, based on how you walk us through your journey, that looking back, it was a great decision overall. Like, you wouldn't have changed anything with that decision. Is that a right assumption?
Oh, absolutely. I think it was a right decision. It was a right decision for us. Even my husband, his career also kind of took a completely different trajectory once he came here. So yeah, it was a difficult time. I would say 6 months, but yeah, at the end, you have to take certain risks for rewards, right? It is. You can either just be like afraid of taking a step, but I think we took a leap of faith at that time, and that everything will work out, and it did.
Absolutely. Well, I'm assuming it's just probably one out of the many challenges that you've had to face, in your whole career journey. Because as I think about it, the decision to move was probably like the beginning phase. But then when you land in the United States and you're faced with having to build this practice, this team, and this multinational organization, that's another whole challenge altogether. So walk us through, how did that first 6 months, 1 year work for you as you're building the practice? How has it how was you, being a woman, being a person that's not really from the United States, building this practice, and how did that go for you?
Yeah, it was. See, it was. I would say it was an interesting journey, because as you said, see, it was a new country. I was kind of. I landed in a area where we did not have anybody in entire North America covering the quality engineering and testing area. So I was the only person who landed here. And I was just, there was a practice, there was a lean practice that was there behind in India. In fact, my then manager, I have a lot of respect for him, Mr. G.S. Raju, and I'm still in touch with him on and off. And we still have that, I would say somewhere that appreciation for each other, because he was starting that practice back in India. It had gone through a lot of ups and downs, and we kind of brought everything back together with full rigor. and there were a lot of, I would say, professionals. We were doing a lot of good work as an organization. I think it was the major change that was happening at that time was the growth aspect, right? We were already doing very good work, but now the aspiration was to grow. And to grow, you really need presence on the field, and that is where the presence on the field was like I was the first person to land here and to start that presence on the field aspect, and working very closely with the sales teams. And again, I would say 90% of the encounters were very, very supportive. The teams were very helpful. A lot of sales leaders became champions once they realized that there is such a great strength that we have as an organization, where we can bring in a lot of best practices. There is a lot of great delivery work that we are doing. It's just that we now have to build on that and take the entire revenue as well as the numbers to the next level, because as an organization we are growing rapidly. So this service line, or the quality engineering and testing service line, also has to grow. So yeah, so that was one aspect, working closely with the sales teams. Then setting up my own team, we slowly started bringing more people to the field. I have now a few more associates supporting me from West Coast, from East Coast. So all that, we actually went ahead and recruited what we in Tech Mahindra, what we refer as global leadership program, where we bring in very strong professionals from some of the top-notch institutes. So both the initial team that joined me here, Pradeep and Tarun, they are both IIM graduates. IIM is one of the very, very leading management institute back in India. And we had picked them from there, and we groomed them for this entire quality engineering space. And they became such fine professionals, and right now they are doing great. They are both supporting me now in quality engineering as well as in the DevOps areas. So they have scaled themselves as well. So yeah, setting up the relationships with the sales teams, with the customers, going for a lot of customers meeting. The first 5 years of my career in US, I was on road for 3 to 4 days in a week. I was just going, establishing connects, meeting customers, doing a lot of presentations about our capabilities, what we bring to the table. So that was all the field work, and then setting up the right team and the right ecosystem for support. And then back in India, the competency was also growing rapidly. We were building solutions. I was working very closely with GS to make sure that we have the right ecosystem. Some engineering leaders were onboarded. So yeah, it is it is all very interesting, the way things panned out.
I fast forward to today, compared to that 12 years ago when you landed, you're the first person on shore. How many people are in your team right now?
So we have a pretty significant team right now. So it is, you can look at it in two ways. So the way we manage this practice, we have the competency and the central solutions team. And then we have a delivery team. We have won some very, very large delivery programs. So I think if you look at across Tech Mahindra, today we are close to 23,000 quality engineering professionals, out of which close to 60 plus members who are very focused on just building the solutions and the practice, while rest of the community is the delivery organization.
Amazing. The scale of how you're able to grow the team, it's just, I cannot imagine for the last decade or so, right? So what would you think were so you mentioned within the first few years, it was about building the relationships internally with the sales team, externally with your customers, and then also building the team, setting up finding the right people, setting up the support system and the ecosystem as well. Was there anything else that you feel was instrumental in helping you scale to where your team is right now?
Another thing that we really focused on were also alliances, right? Because that's I specifically in the quality engineering space, QE tools are something which are very, very like they drive a lot of decisions on the customer side around the services, around what they want to do, because the entire QE industry over the last 10-15 years has also changed drastically with automation, with AI getting added and things like that. So another thing that we really focused and we put a focus team together was around alliances, bringing in the right partnerships. Definitely helped us to again, it is all, and again, alliances are very mutual type of thing, right? We help our partners help us. Lot of strong alliances that we put together at that time in the beginning, they really helped us specifically in initial 3-4 years to get lot of scales. There were joint go to market strategies that we were using with lot of our alliance teams in place. So yes, that I would say was another strategy that actually led to some of our really large, significant deals where we went together with some of the alliance partners and gave a very differentiated proposition to our customers. So I would say that was another thing that really, really helped a lot.
Mm-hmm. Well, you mentioned earlier that you also learned a lot from your manager, and so I wanted to dig a little bit deeper into that area. You in a professional setting, obviously, the team, customers, building a great, a world-class team. But you as a professional, as you were navigating all of these changes, all the things that you were building and scaling, did you have a particular support system in your workplace, a mentor or a coach, something in that capacity that, that helped you throughout, some of the challenges that you faced?
No, absolutely, absolutely. See, there is. I had a few mentors, definitely. So GS, who I mentioned, my erstwhile manager, he was one of the greatest, I would say, mentors I have had, because see, many a times one aspect of our work is technology, and again, I won't say that I don't need any mentorship in that area. That area also we need to continuously learn, whether we are doing certifications, whether we are doing new courses, whether we are understanding how the technology is changing, how the aspects of changing technology impacting in our area, right? There might not be a direct change in like we all know that QE industry changed drastically with DevOps evolution, right? The way teams started using the end-to-end integrated agile DevOps methodologies, that drastically impacted the way testing was being done. So all those aspects, I think, still can be covered by the individual's hunger of learning and all those things. But then there are a lot of nuances of navigating the complex situations in an organization, which is large and which is continuously growing, which is going through a change, where the mentors actually help you navigate situations. So all I can say is that my mentor GS, he really helped me understand some of the complex situations. I always used to go back to him telling that this is happening, that is happening. I'm working on this account, and this is the thing that is happening. There is a pushback here. There is an acceptance here. There is a change management issue here, and things like that. And he always used to help me navigate. He used to use his own influence, being a senior leader in the organization, to support where I used to get stuck or things like that. So that really helped. Another few leaders in North America region, very early, I started working with one of our North America leader, Lakshmanan Chidambaram. He's fondly known as CTL in Tech Mahindra ecosystem. He has been a great mentor, somebody who encouraged, who supported, who realized the potential of a competency and an individual and a team. And he really helped like making connects, making sure that he's promoting the quality engineering services wherever he's going. And then multiple leaders, I would say, lot of mentors and leaders. Harshul Asnani, he's one of the very senior sales leader in North America. Again, lot of support came in from his teams, himself. And overall, the organization had a focus, right? So as an organization, we were saying that, this is a space that needs to grow. And even starting from our CEO, CP Gurnani at that time, and I received a lot of tips in terms of he was not necessarily involved in everything that we were doing very, very at the ground level. But once in a while, whenever we used to get a chance and meet in that time, 2012, 13, 14, he used to share his vision as how he wants to see this practice grow, where he wants it to go and all that. So yes, multiple mentors. And even on the customer side, I shouldn't miss by saying that some really great partnerships. Again, I would not take a lot of names here, but lot of leaders on the customer organization collaborated very well. They were very passionate testing professionals. I was a very passionate quality engineering professional. So that some of those discussions, those vibrant conversations about future of quality engineering, where it is heading, all that added a lot of, I would say, color to my entire career, and it shaped me up as a professional I am today.
That's so great to hear. I was just saying earlier, right? Behind a successful woman is a supportive partner or a supportive man. Now, let me rephrase that a little bit. And this is not to take away, right, the merits of your own achievements. I think it goes without saying your talent, your resilience is also, what eventually got you where you are today. But it does look like, that there is behind a successful woman is an incredible support system. And it also boils on yourself to create that support system of people that helps you grow, that you learn from. And I'm so inspired to hear about your story and all the people that worked with you, that you work with, that you learn from as well. I know I focused a little bit on challenges there in the workplace as you were, building this practice. I want to pivot back to your personal life, at home, when you're going back to when your husband and your son arrived in the United States and joined you. And I'm sure along the way, you've had challenges as well as a working woman. With a family, with a growing kid. How did you and your family navigate those challenges? Or was it even do you feel like also it was it's not necessarily a challenge that was insurmountable because, like you said, you have great partnership with your husband who supports you all throughout. Do you feel like it's a different scenario at home versus like in the office when it comes to your support system?
No. I think, see, the only challenge that I would say that we navigated as a team, me, my husband, and my son, I always consider him part of the team, is the the aspect of travel, right? The job initially, at least, um, as we were like the initial traction was very high, 2013, 14, 15, 16. These were the years when we were kind of, I was establishing this whole thing. And there was a lot of travel. I was on road doing lot of proactive pitches, lot of obviously RFPs and those type of things. And there was a lot of being on road at that time. So one thing that we navigated as a family, and my husband came to US with a sales job in IBM. So he was traveling as well. And sometimes we used to have conflicts where both of us had to travel. And I remember instances, not many, but at least 4 or 5 instances where we exchanged Dhruv, who's our son, on the airport. So I landed, and Dhruv was young at that time, so 8, 9 years or something. So my husband cannot leave it at home, but he has a flight around the same time. So I'm landing, and we are meeting at airport, and he passes like Dhruv to me, saying that, okay, now take him and go back home, and I'm now off. So that happened 4, 5 times, I would say. We try to avoid that situation as much as possible, but it had happened. And then there were instances, and those were quite a few instances where there were overnight situations, right? Like 2 or 3 times in maybe a couple of months, we used to leave Dhruv in care of some very dear friends who have been like an extended family to us. And they they are in the same community, very close by. So they used to support us because both of us were traveling overnight, and so they used to pick up Dhruv from school, and he used to be in their care. So I would say that other than the work people and your family, the friends who are family also become your support system to help you navigate through some of those challenges. So and that happened quite a few times. I would say for first 6, 7 years there were quite a few, until we were confident that Dhruv can manage on his own. After he became like I would say 15 plus types, he was able to manage on his own overnight as well. If the food is there and the school is close by, he used to either walk or bike or whatever. But until then, we always used to leave him in the care of a couple of our very good friends. So yeah, those were the challenges we navigated as a family. I used to feel bad. It is as I said, I recently posted something on LinkedIn, which is about the working mom's guilt. That
I saw that. Yeah.
obviously it used to grow on me at times, and I used to feel very kind of emotional about the whole thing. But I think the good part is that if you are I give a lot of credit to my family, and specifically my son. He was so understanding. Like at the age of 10, he used to talk like a very mature person. I always have that guilt also somewhere that maybe he matured too fast because of being very independent. But yeah, that is something that I would say we navigated as a family together. Yeah.
It was been a very interesting childhood for him, but I can see how it's just going to make him stronger. And I think I'm sure looking back, he'll always remember, he probably will look at this fondly, even though it was a challenging time, right? But also see you both, you and your husband, as a great example of how you can make it work. Like you said earlier, you just got to make it work, and you find solutions and you find your support system. And it does really take a village, right? And I think your situation was a great example, both in your professional life, but also in your family life at home. Now fast forward to today, right? Your son has grown up. Your teams, your two practice that you're leading has scaled a lot. Do you feel like there are unique challenges that you face now that was very different to the challenges you faced decades ago when you were just, starting things in the United States?
Yeah. See, again, change keeps happening, right? Organizations keep changing. They keep evolving for their better self, right? So I won't say challenges, but changes, right? So right now is and I'm sure like it is in public domain that we recently saw a major leadership change. Our erstwhile CEO decided to kind of move on to the next phase in his life, and we have a new CEO joining us from last I think last June, and then officially taking over from mid of December 2023. So it is a time of change in the organization, because with new leadership comes fresh thought process, different way of looking at things, some organization changes, some changes in the ways of working and things like that. I won't call it a challenge, but yes, it is an evolution, right? You keep growing, you keep changing, you keep adapting, and you keep aligning yourself to the broader vision, or the refreshed vision. So that is what I would say is happening right now, with at least with my organization, my team, my practices. We are realigning ourselves to the broader goals of the organizations, how the vision is changing, how the refreshed, like our latest speed at scale, that is the mantra now at Tech Mahindra, and we all have to align to that. And obviously, with any change comes that I would say aspect of challenge to kind of adapt to that change, understand that change, proliferate a lot of that change to your teams, give the right messaging, they taking it back to their teams. So that's, I think, is the phase we are in right now. I won't call it, as I said, a challenge. It's an interesting phase in all of our careers right now, and I'm enjoying it. But yeah, let's see where it lands.
Amazing. Let me pivot the question a little bit, only because obviously we call this podcast "Woman in Tech," so I have to ask this question, just to put into context, how the experiences for women can be very different in this industry. So when you look back at your 25 years of career and professional journey, and looking at both the lens of your personal life and professional life, right? Do you feel like there were challenges that you've had to face that are unique to you, or to you as a woman because of your gender?
See, again, and I won't say that it is to do with any organization or any. So I would qualify that, because I have, in my 25 years of journey, I have come across many women leaders, and you all know that quality engineering is an area somehow you will find lot of, because I think our inherent what I don't know what is there, but we are very passionate quality people, right? Somehow. So there is lot of women leaders that I have come across, both in quality engineering and DevOps space. And I think some of the challenges are very common. Like one of the challenge, being the only woman many a times in a room full of 40 men. Again, you can take it as a challenge, you can laugh at it, you can feel proud about it. There are multiple I would say feelings that you will go through. But as a woman, I go through that every day, almost today. Sometimes you are the probably the strongest voice and a woman on a call with 20 other men. And again, it is, see, and I'm very candidly, I personally feel, and this statement I'm making at a very, very personal level, so I'm qualifying it. Whether we acknowledge it or not, there is that big boys club type of mindset that I don't know, it inherently, again, and not to disrespect any any male colleagues or anyone that I've come across, but again, as I said, it's a personal statement I'm making at a personal level. But there is that undercurrent many a times that as a woman I have felt. Now, whether I give too much heed to it, no, I don't. Whether I care about it, little bit. Whether I care how others are perceiving me, because they probably feel there is that, I don't know. I always feel that a strong male voice is not as threatening to many as a strong female voice. I don't know why. I don't know why. So, but it is what it is. I think we just have to live. We just don't, like to me, initially I probably used to think little too much about it. Now I'm at a stage where I don't care that much. It is the point that I feel that, okay, what I'm doing is professionally correct, even if I'm putting it very strongly, because it is professionally correct and it is the right thing to do, I will go ahead and do that. At the same time, if I understand that something that I'm telling may not be the best or the right thing, I should always be ready to step back and think through it without getting a bias in my head that, oh, by the way, they are not listening to me because I'm a woman. Because that mentality also can actually be very deterrent to yourself, that if you always start playing victim, that, oh, yeah, because I'm a woman leader, I'm not being heard. So that also very quickly you have to get away from any of that feeling. So putting everything in the context, seeing that what is right versus wrong, and at the end of it, and I very strongly say that eventually, if there is professional integrity, if you are very committed to professional integrity, I don't think so. Nothing will matter. All these feelings that we go through of being the only woman in the room to like being one of the strong voices not many people are probably appreciating, to as far as the thing that you are doing is professionally right, it is in the right spirit of the organization, and eventually you are keeping the end goal of organization in mind and doing your things, I think everything else kind of fades away slowly. But yes, I won't say that. I won't be that person who say that. Yeah, there is no difference being a woman, being a man in a corporate world. There are times that you feel certain things, but I think it is you just have to brush it off, keep doing the right thing. And yes, you'll have a lot of all my mentors actually so far have all been males. Is all I can say. That all men, all leaders. I so far in my entire career, I think I have only had a woman manager once, for very little time, like maybe a year. And she was amazing, by the way. She also helped me a lot. I I I I have a memory with that women manager of mine. Her name is Savita Turile. There was a time when I was working on a deliverable in the office. My husband was traveling, and I had to go and pick up my son from the daycare, and I had no place to actually keep like leave him. But I had to bring him back to the office and finish my deliverable. So I went and I picked up my son. He was 1.5 years old, and I picked him up. I brought him to the office, and Savita was in office, and she took my son and she was playing with her in the cubicle, in her cubicle, while I was finishing the work that I was supposed to do. So yeah, that is the power of that support system. And yeah, this organization has been amazing since beginning. I can say that. Yeah.
I like, like that the mindset around, so long as you stand by your conviction because you're doing it professionally right, you're committed to professional integrity, then like I said, nothing else really matters. And again, bringing back to like that support system, women supporting women also, right? I kept saying about, ran behind it, all of that. But yeah, the women within the industry also is a great support system. Now, I've been having so much, fun talking to you, learning a little bit more about your experiences, the challenges, and the triumphs. I wanted to, before we close, right? I wanted to hear a few thoughts from you. Anybody who's listening right now, maybe a woman within the industry who looks up to you and what you have accomplished and wants to walk in your shoes and follow your footsteps, what would be your advice for them?
I would just say that as I said, eventually there is to me there is nothing wrong versus right in prioritizing what we feel right. So again, I have so many friends who have prioritized family over work, and at times taken a step back for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years in their careers, and maybe just decided to log off. And so I would say that it is eventually your heart and your mind. Whatever it tells you is right, just do that. And I want to share one other personal experience that happened in my life, and I think it will be important, being a woman and being a strong kind of an awareness speaker around that. I went through, and I think, Angeline, you know about it. We spoke briefly earlier that I went through a life-changing experience in 2022. I went through breast cancer diagnosis and recovery over 2022, 2023. And that was a life-changing experience as well as a woman. And when I got it, I realized that it is something that 14%, statistically, 14% of the women in their life can go through this. It is difficult to even imagine that number. It is a very high number. And so again, being a woman going through that kind of challenge, making the decisions at that time. And again, I got so many advices at that time. There were so many people who were like, are you crazy? Like, do you really like, why don't you just take a sabbatical? Just don't do anything for a year, focus on your, and only thing that I was thinking, that my son is in college, my husband, all said and done, he has to keep working. I just come and I take a sabbatical because I have been diagnosed. And then what do I do? whole day I think about that I've been diagnosed. And that's why I'm in this situation that I'm sitting at home. My son is studying, my husband is working, and I'm sitting at home because I'm diagnosed. Oh my God. And that's the only thing that I do the entire day. And that's when I said that, no, chuck it. I'm going to work. I'm continuing to work. Whether I have to I'll lose my hair, I'll wear a wig, I'll take a headgear, whatever. I'll continue to work and I will tell people, and I'm not going to hide it. So that was my personal choice. It was my decision, and I stood by it. I followed it. And at the end, I felt I did the right thing. However, I have known some very close friends who went through a similar situation. They took a sabbatical. They decided not to disclose it to many people. They decided to remain quiet about it. And I respect that fully because it is their decision and they wanted to do it like that. So again, to all the women, eventually, listen to your heart, listen to your mind. I think, anyways, that itself is a challenge many a times because heart says something, mind says something. You have to bring the balance between those two yourself. But that is, everything else is a noise. Other than obviously your family opinion, right? You eventually have to listen to that as well. But which is your first family, right? Maybe your partner, your kids, your parents. But eventually you decide what is the right thing for you to do professionally, personally. And I have a very strong, at least that is my way of looking at it. Just do the right thing, which does not put you in any sort of ethical dilemma. That is the thing that we all have to avoid. Anything that we are doing, whether it is ethically correct, and your heart and mind is telling you to do that, just follow that, and I'm sure it will be the right thing to do.
That's really amazing. I think that's a great way to close our conversation today. Like you were saying, right? Everybody's journey is different. One's truths may be different from another person's truths, right? And I like what you said. Listen to your heart, listen to your mind, balance them both because they may be telling you conflicting things, but at the end of the day, stand by your truth and do the right thing for you. Thank you so much for sharing your journey with us, Anjali. Thank you for being so candid. You and your story is truly very inspirational. Truly appreciate the time that you spent with us today. So that's it. Let's truly appreciate the time. And that's it for today's discussion. We'll see you on our next episode.